Hey everyone, I'm Andrew and welcome back to Easy Money. I think we all agree that debt is not an asset, and we should do our best to avoid it whenever possible. Of course, this isn't 100% black and white. You can learn all about my opinion on the topic of debt by clicking on the link here. With that said, things happen and emergencies arise. Here are the only 5 financial emergencies you should consider going into debt for on this edition of Easy Money. Before we get into the 5 financial emergencies, I want to stress that you should avoid going into debt even when these emergencies arise. You should be working steadily to build up your savings and becoming debt-free. Many financial experts, like Dave Ramsey, suggest having an emergency fund of at least $1,000 for just such occasions, even before you become debt-free. I hope you are all striving to get here. And for those that have not yet been able to put at least $1,000 into savings, these are 5 types of financial emergencies I feel it would be okay to go into debt for. This is a tough one. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon for someone to lose their job. When you do, the stress seems to mount up and bills don't stop. You still have to eat and keep a roof over your head. So what do you do? First, immediately apply for unemployment. This will help you get some income going until you can find a new job. Second, jump on Indeed and begin applying for new jobs. Third, now before you whip out that credit card to continue living life at the same level, you have to make some quick changes. Cancel all unnecessary subscriptions. Do not go into debt to cover Netflix or Disney Plus. Call your mortgage company or landlord and see if they're willing to suspend payments for a time. You can do the same with your car as well, although we all know you probably shouldn't have a car note at all. Perhaps this could be a good time to downsize your car. Get into something with a smaller payment or no payment at all. Fourth, check with local churches and community centers for food donations. And finally, after you've done everything that you can to lower your expenses, then you can use debt to cover your cost of living. But before you use the credit card, see if you can get a HELOC or a home equity line of credit to cover those debts. The interest will be considerably lower. Currently in 2021, you can get a HELOC as low as 1.9%, where your credit card can average 14%. I hope you never lose your job. Be sure to always be networking and seeing what else is out there, even when everything seems perfect. You never know what could happen. And you may even find a better opportunity and not have to experience the loss at all. Medical emergencies are the worst. It's a huge expense at a time you're most vulnerable. Several years ago, my daughter fell out of the grocery cart and landed on her head. She was knocked out cold. So of course, we ran her to the emergency room to make sure all was well. We lucked out and she was fine. No concussion or major injuries. Even though we had pretty good insurance at the time, we still walked out of the ER with an $800 bill. The good thing about most medical bills is they don't need to be paid in full and they can be made in payments over time. So the first thing you need to do is call the medical billing office. They can set you up on payments. But even better than this is you can negotiate with them to lower your bill entirely. My wife and I have been through 4 pregnancies, 5 ER visits, a gallbladder surgery, extended hospital stay for a colon rupture, tonsil removal, and a bunch of orthodontial procedures. With every single one of these cases, we were able to reduce the bill by at least half. Some of these, we were able to walk out paying absolutely nothing. And almost all medical facilities have aid you can apply for. Never be afraid to just ask. Trust me, it's well worth it. Unless you live in New York City or a place with excellent public transportation, you're gonna need a car to get around. So what happens if your car breaks down and you can no longer get to work? Do your best to find a friend or coworker to carpool with, if at all possible. When you do take the car in for repairs, find a reputable place. Do this now, before your car breaks down. Have a good quality location in mind just in case you need it. Avoid dealerships at all costs. They do good work, but the cost is way overpriced. If the issue seems smaller, well, don't be afraid to work on it yourself. I've done this several times on my own using YouTube. Most issues are common and a quick Google search can help you. When you finally do have to take it in, ask for a discount. See if they have a payment plan. Do whatever you can to avoid having to go into debt to pay for it. I've heard of places that will let you help them fix their car and save on labor costs. The big key here is to do your research before you even have a problem, so you know you're taking your car to a reputable mechanic with tried and true work. We've been fortunate to find many good mechanics, and it makes all the difference. If you find a good mechanic and you're still not sure, get a second opinion. Call other mechanic shops. Ask what their cost would be for the same job. If the price is close, then you know you're good. Most home issues can be fixed by you with a small amount of money and some elbow grease. We're not talking about the leaky faucet or hole in the wall. These are those dire situations that mean the difference between being able to live in the house or not. Or something that, if not taken care of right now, will quickly increase the overall damage to the home. Things like roof repairs, major plumbing issues, flooding, gas leaks. The first thing you're going to want to do is refer to your homeowner's insurance policy. This may be something that's covered. If so, great. Unfortunately, that's never my luck. I never check page 172, paragraph 3, clause 11 that tells me it's just not covered. A friend of mine had an issue where the plumbing pipes from the city to the property crumbled. They were old clay pipes and they needed to be replaced, or they just wouldn't have any plumbing. After a quick back and forth with the city, it looked as if 75% of the pipes fell on the property and needed to be replaced by them. $10,000 later, they had new pipes. Great for the resale value, horrible for their pocketbooks. Things like this happen. Be sure to ask and work with others. For my friend, they saved $3,000 by talking with the city and finding out they were responsible for a portion of it. Then work with the contractors and tradesmen working on your home. Be sure to get several quotes and make sure you get a good price and aren't taken to the cleaners. And remember, it never hurts to ask for lower prices, but you usually get what you pay for. There are two sides to funeral emergencies. First off, if you have a friend or loved one that passes, find a way to go to the funeral. If you have to throw the plane ticket on the credit card, do it. This is one of those things that you'll never get back. But do what you can to keep your costs low. Drive if you can. Stay with friends or family while you're there. There's no need to make this a huge bill of debt. Secondly, if this is a funeral that you must plan, here's where it can get crazy. This is easily the most vulnerable financial position to be in. Funeral costs can skyrocket to $25,000, $50,000. You want to give your loved ones the send-off they deserve. And the funeral homes, they know this. So what's an extra $5,000 for plush lining? These types of add-on expenses are easy to avoid if you plan beforehand. You need to know what you want and know what your loved ones want before the tragedy of death strikes. It's not a fun topic to discuss, but my wife and I both know what each would like when the day finally does come. And once you've done that, it makes it easier to budget out what the total cost will be. Don't leave it up to chance. I also recommend having a life insurance policy. For less than $5 a month, you can easily cover the cost of your funeral. I have a large life insurance policy for myself and my wife, as well as smaller ones for our 4 children. We pay $28 per month for this coverage. The biggest thing I can share about dealing with emergencies is that it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to get a second opinion. It feels like this has to be this way right then and there in the moment because so much is happening. But you don't have to fall prey to a stressful situation. Take a step back, get a second opinion, and don't make any quick decisions. Life can throw curveballs at you for sure. You never know what's around the corner. And for this, it's so vital to be prepared and to have a plan. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to tap the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any easy money. I'm Andrew, this is Easy Money, and now it's time to invest in yourself.